Wait, is this the day I start drinking black?
This should be the day you start drinking black. Black's the better coffee. It's 0 calories. Oof. No calories. Way stronger. No good?
We'll see. We'll leave enough room for cream.
You can decide down the road. Okay, this is a terrible idea.
Do we take an intermission to refill?
To refill. You can refill at any time. Anytime you can go get yourself something. Well, thank you so much for joining me, for doing this.
No problem, Jefferson.
So yeah, I guess so the reason I wanted to do this is because I think that there's a powerful entrepreneurial culture in Center Wellington, and I think with so many new people moving here, there's like this generational like new wave. It's funny. So remember when I used to work for my old boss, all of our clients were these long-standing, like they'd been around for 50 years, 50 plus years. They'd built the company into their budget. Like we could have done nothing. They still would have like paid us. Like it just like they were just kind of well past their like glory days, I guess. And when Lauren and I started doing this, we found that our clients again and again and again were like people like you, like young people who are like pumped to start something new, to start something fresh. Which I guess like did two things. Like one, it forced me and Lauren to be much more proactive and diligent, because I think that someone like yourself is a lot more concerned with like results and you know, what are the things you're getting accomplished, versus some business where I'm not even talking to the owner, I'm talking to some of their staff, and we're just kind of talking about, you know, general business trends. So that was like the one thing. And then the second thing I think it did was that it kind of made us like pause and like observe like what's happening in Center Wellington. And we kind of looked at some of the facts. Like, this is one of the fastest growing regions in the province. Like it's supposed to be, as I told you, like 52,000 people by
2041.
Yeah, something like that. And I just was like, there's like, and all these new businesses, like I keep on meeting people like you who are like young and hungry, and they want to grow and they want to take their piece of the pie. You know what I mean? They want to get in and they want to make something and not just work for someone else. And I was like, that's cool. That's a story. Like, I think that's a story. I think that's something cool. So I wanted to meet with people like you. So I chose you and 3 others to kind of be like, hey, would you be on this podcast with me? I've never done a podcast before. I've never tried this before. But I thought, you know, I think people will be interested. That's my.
I think so. I think there'll be some good response. Like I mentioned to you a few weeks ago, I was like, I'll do a podcast eventually, once I'm comfortable on the camera.
And I'm just throwing you in front of the camera.
No, it's all good.
You've always said you're kind of camera shy. Like even from the beginning, I remember you saying that you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's everyone deals with the whole. Maybe they don't like the sound of their voice or whatnot.
But you get used to it, I think.
Yeah,
eventually
I think
you're like,
so. My mom started doing it. She started recording herself on videos and stuff. It's awesome.
How is she? Is she camera shy or is she like?
No, she's more. She's backed by all of her years of nursing and that, so she's just doing little videos of nursing videos,
cool.
geriatrics and stuff like that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I should say, hold on, I really wanted to mention, speaking of family, before we begin, you're not the first Kooiman that I've run into since moving to Fergus.
Yeah.
I've only been here for I've moved here 3 years ago. But the first Kooiman I ever ran into was your brother. And it wasn't for marketing, it was because he was getting married.
Right,
And he was looking for a wedding officiant, which I'm also a wedding officiant, and so I performed his wedding out at the Gorge, which you would have been there. But I guess we just wouldn't have known each other.
No, I did not even put 2 and 2 together, and even that you said I was a wedding officiant. I was like, yeah. We all got married all in the same year. All of us kids were ranging between 29 and what was that, 43 or so. Sorry, Jason. So yeah, we're all at that age. We're all getting married. We're all having kids and all that. So we had 1 year where it was my sister. Then the next spring was my other sister. Then me in the fall, and then the next summer, and my brother was in between that as well. So we all just got married all at once. So yeah, it was a busy time.
It's just a big whirlwind. You never would have noticed little old me standing up at the top.
But now I remember it. Now I hear your voice, and I'm like, okay, I do remember that conversation. And
I remember leaving that wedding being like, that was okay. Like, it was like that wasn't the best wedding I ever did, but it wasn't far from the worst too.
Yeah.
And then your dad reached out to Two Birds Marketing before you ever did.
Yeah.
And I met him at a Tim Hortons, and we talked about his website. he has many websites.
Yeah, many websites, many ideas.
He had many ideas, and he walked me through them, kind of what he was thinking.
Yeah.
He had Lauren do a little bit of work, so we kind of played around with some design and stuff. And then since then, he's kind of every once in a while he's reached out to me like a little bit. But then you came out of nowhere. Yeah.
I honestly just Googled it because I was like, you know what? You Google these marketing companies and you get the bigger ones. You're like, I want to get the personal touch. I want to get the be able to communicate to that person, be able to say, okay, these are my problems. So then I kind of winded down. I think there's 3 or 4 just in Fergus, and Two Birds popped up. I'm like, you know what? I'll give them a shot. I did the website submission, and I was like, you know what? I'm struggling with the marketing side. I don't have the experience in it, but I want to get in that niche. This year I reached out to Two Birds in June. And then we set up our first meeting for like the beginning of July. So we set up SEO right away. I had no idea about SEO or any kind of search optimization or any kind of social media, even what Google offers for analytics. Like none of that was opened up on my website because I had no idea. So you're trusting someone with experience and navigating through that.
Yeah. Well, that's like why a lot of these businesses like Two Birds exist, is because there's people like you who don't really, like you're busy doing other things, right? You got other things going on. My goal is to do something different. So hopefully doing something like a podcast, because I think a lot of these companies are boring. They're boring. They're boring companies. Like they're just like, they only exist because, but it's like, so it's funny. I always make that joke. I say, oh, they exist because there's people like you who don't want to be bothered. You're too focused on your job. Like, it doesn't make sense. But the truth is like, that's why the most of them exist, and that's it. Like, there's nothing exciting or spectacular or interesting or different about these companies. They're just like, well, you don't really know what you're doing, so hire me. And I think that they almost position themselves into a point of weakness where, like, they're only going to stick around until you until you grow enough as a business to hire someone internally and do something like on your own. And I just sort of say, like, I don't want to churn like that of clients. Like, I don't want to be constantly being like,
looking for new clients. Yeah.
So I'm just like, you know what? Like, let's be an exciting. And I think that Center Wellington is the most exciting place to be right now, because there is this new wave of entrepreneurs. There is this new wave of generational business owners who are almost like the new guard, right? They're coming in and they're like doing their own thing. They're taking their slice of the pie. And so I was just like, man, we gotta like take advantage of that and tell their stories, and hopefully this will work. But anyways, that was a long preamble before we begin. So the point of this is to talk to entrepreneurs. So let's talk to you. Let's talk about you and your story.
All right.
So let's rewind. Let's go back in time. Brehn, like less than 2 years old at this point.
Yep. Yeah. I started operating it part-time back in May 2024. I worked for a local builder, and I was happy and semi-fulfilled, but not there yet. I knew I had more potential. I knew I was giving it my all, and I was like, you know what, I want something more. I was like, I want to be a part of something bigger. I want to grow something that is about the community and grow a team that wants to be a part of it.
Did your employer know that you were doing this on the side, or?
I gave him fair warning, but in all honesty,
what's fair warning? Like,
I basically, we had a conversation. I was like, you know what, I'm not happy anymore. I want something more. So I basically said, like, I want to be a partner, or I want to be, and it's a large builder. So I was like, obviously the answer is no, but you know what, you don't know unless you try. So I tried, answer was no. And we chatted back and forth about kind of some of the options, but never really worked out the details. So then I ended up just getting a couple small jobs. I think my brother wanted his laundry room done, updated, and I had a little shiplap fireplace to do. So you know what, that's cool, that's a good start. So then I signed up for the Fergus Home Show, and that was an amazing eye-opener. So that, I went part-time like May 15th.
Did you own a business at that point?
Yeah, so I've been being incorporated for a year, knowing, so I incorporated in 2023, knowing I had all my bank accounts ready, I had everything, like social media all ready, Google ready, everything, and I just needed to pull the trigger. So then, May 15th, I went part-time for my full-time job, so I worked 3 days a week at my builder job, and then I worked 3 days a week, so I worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which, I mean, maybe people don't plan, but 6 days a week.
No.
So yeah, I went off that for part-time, and then I did the Fergus Home Show at the end of May, and it took off. I I had so much feedback and so much response, and I was good at doing more quotes. And
why did you get so much more response? Like, why was it about it?
I was the only builder, general contractor there. I think there's maybe 2 other guys, but you know what? I'm young and I'm new in business. I was like,
sorry,
let's
two
go
other
for
guys.
it. Yeah, but I mean that's the competition. Entrepreneurial's a competition. If you want to stay relevant and up to date, you got to push. And if you want to just sit back and let the cards come to you, then I mean maybe one day you'll get forgotten or you get pushed. But I'm pushing, so you gotta. Hopefully everyone else wants to push with me. And
do you think you've worked like harder since you've become your own business owner?
Oh, absolutely.
You don't think that it was your God-given work? What's the word I'm looking for? Hardworking attitude that.
Well,
but no,
I'm
not surprised.
I'm one of 6. So
my
parents, my father owns a manufacturing plant. It was in Fergus. Hey, they moved from Toronto to Fergus for the smaller town. So he's actually been in business. This will be his 42nd year in business. And then my mom's a nurse at the local hospital. And my parents grew more of a smaller community family and wanted to be kind of local and raise their kids in the community and all of that. And so every night after school in summers, I kind of help my dad here and there from 3:30 after school till 6 o'clock or until supper time. And so I did that throughout. So I kind of learned some of the backbone of business ownership and how hard it is. And then I bought my first house when I was 20, and I was renovating that. So on the stage of a full-time job from year 8 to 5 with my father, I then renovated from 5 till 9 on the weekdays, and then from 8 till 5 on Saturday.
So you're not just like, you're like, oh yeah, I worked hard when I became an entrepreneur. It sounds like you kind of like your life was just always doing stuff.
Yeah,
like I got home from school. I just watched TV.
And I watched HGTV when I was a kid on the couch on weekends. If
That's
I
what
wasn't.
you were watching?
Yeah, I don't know. I just
Love
surround
it,
myself. But I've been in it for so many years now that it's just natural now. Like as soon as you have that discipline and that repetition of the efforts, it takes a while. I think it's called aggressive patience. Because you want to be aggressive towards the efforts, but then patient for the results. So yeah, I've been doing this for 15, 20 years now, like when I was 15. So yeah, 15 years ago.
Wow.
So
do you think there was a time like at the beginning when you were getting started that you were like not 100% sure this was going to work? Or were you like, nah, from the beginning I knew? Like what?
Absolutely. There's always a fear. You have to be the fear of failing, where okay, I have 0 options, the zero options mentality. So 0 options, this is what I have to do. So yeah, after I left my full-time job, I have 2 kids at home and a wife, and our girls are young, so not ready for school or even like the daycare preschool systems yet. Yeah. And I was terrified. I was the only one bringing income in, and I had this passion. I could have let my fear drag us into like, oh, you know what, let's play it safe. Let's wait till the girls grow up and that. And I said, you know what, let's screw it. I want to. Are
you still afraid, do you think?
In the back of my mind, and I think, that'll always keep me hungry, because then I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not, because now it's like, all right, we do our 8 to 5, we have a shop now, we're getting systems in place, but then from when our girls go to sleep, sorry Samantha, I work on my laptop from 7 till 9.
Like 7:30 to like midnight sometimes.
I get that a lot. Emails safe though, because it's like you can't really upset them. If they want to look at their emails, go ahead. Like look at them at 12. I will.
But you can always schedule them to go out the next morning at like.
I don't know how to do that. That's why I have a marketing company. But that's the thing. Okay, what's the argument? Is texting late at night as a business owner to a client appropriate or not appropriate? I just texted 2 clients last night. I've been forgetting to send them texts during the day. I've been forgetting to send them emails. It was 8:52. I was like, you know what? It's not that late, but like it's probably frowned upon. So I sent 2 texts.
I don't know. I also don't know. Like even with you, I'm like I was like, oh shoot. Like I remember even I looked at the clock and I was like, I want to make sure I message David before the end of the day to let him know that like I don't know why I care so much about sending you a message after 5 o'clock I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't. But I messaged you around.
I get that quite a bit. I'm a late emailer. I'm on the tools, trying to switch it to get more on working on the business, but I'm on the tools all day. So then I'm just emailing at night. So that's any kind of client emails, any kind of ordering materials or double checking or problem solving or going, hey, we didn't receive that today. Let's find out where the heck it is.
And that's not stopped with Kooiman? Like she's sort of been able to field the emails, right?
Yeah, but there's a backlog of the efforts, right? Like, so Kooiman I brought on in August, so I knew there was gonna be a backlog of like, okay, as I get going, now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I trust you, you do your thing because I need to keep working on this thing. Yeah. So I gotta just keep putting the right people in the right positions to keep building. So, yeah.
So those emails are gonna end, is what I'm hearing. Those
hopefully, yeah. Hopefully.
Was there like a definitive point, kind of like at any point, either the beginning or even recently, that you're sort of like gave you the confidence to be like, okay, like maybe this is gonna work, like this is actually happening?
I think the feedback of the response of after completed jobs, how rewarding it was for clients to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, and then the feedback of like the communication and the scheduling that was sent and stuff. I'm not perfect. Obviously I could do better and I'm growing and putting systems in place, but just super rewarding being able to help clients out. And then
is there like a bad, like, so I don't know, like I haven't done like huge projects around my home. I've done like little things. I've had like, you know, the occasional contractor on my place, but like, is there like a general like distrust towards contract? Like you're like, oh yeah, they love me, and I'm like, why do they love you? Like, do most contractors suck? Like, why is it?
There's a stereotype. There's a trustworthy stereotype where contractors are weird or pushy or just do their own kind of agenda. They don't communicate and stuff. So, I mean, that's always been the case.
Really?
Yeah, you see it across the news too. Contractors starting projects and then just leaving the project half finished, unfinished, taking money and just not doing anything.
Not doing anything.
So yeah, there's a huge stereotype. So I've been building it on my projects are on the smaller scale of like massive renovations and new builds, but just be personable, communicate. Like if you're running late, you're running late. If you got to leave early, like, I mean, you don't have to tell them everything, but like, hey, I'm heading out early, or like, hey, I'll be late tomorrow. We're just getting the team ready.
Because I sort of sit here like I'm like, oh, if I'm a homeowner, I'm like, oh, my appointment with this person was 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's 10:20.
Yeah.
They're not freaking here.
Yeah.
Like,
I give a window now because it's like I would give a time and then I'd be late and I'd be disappointed in myself. They would maybe be disappointed in me, haven't got feedback. So then I start giving a window. Okay, I'll be there from 4:30 to 5 in between for arrival. Yeah. So that I'm always trying to hit that point.
A half hour window, that's good.
But yeah, it helps with the traffic and stuff. So that's helped me with a lot of my consultations and stuff like that. But basically be open. Like there's a saying when you knock on someone's house, you got to stand a couple feet back, maybe a couple steps lower, and then you look at the door. You're not looking away. You're not right at the door. So like,
do you feel like? So I'm hearing you, and you're like, oh, like I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you're like, oh yeah, like one of the big things that you wanted to be was like much more communicative with your customer service, like make customer service a lot more like transparent instead of it. Because I'm like, do you think that this is just like a generational thing? Do you think like most like millennial business owners are like, I actually care more? Like, did the boomers just suck at like talking to like their clients? Like, why is
all boomers.
Yeah, sorry, shout out boomers. All of our parents are boomers, you know.
Yeah, or like that's how they were taught, and like I've been doing this business for 40 years. Like this is how I do it. Like there's no kind of adjustment. There's no growth mindset. But I think for millennials, we kind of look at the problem and maybe take a step back. For me, I look and go, okay, well, this is uncomfortable points, or this is what could make the situation better. But basically, I just want to be me. I just gotta be myself, and
maybe that's what it is. Because I feel like there was like a time, and even listen, like I do this too. I think we all like have done it. Where like you've worked for someone, and you're like, I'm the face of this business, which I think is good. Like you should kind of in a sense you should think that. But I think almost like new businesses, especially like me, I'm like especially as the owner, and you would feel this too. Like sales is like. Every business owner is going to know what sales is like, right? Like you're a business owner, you know what sales are like.
If you're good or bad at sales.
And if you're bad at sales, you could be the best I think you could be the best general contractor in the world, but if you're terrible at sales, you're not going to like, most people aren't going to trust you. And so I feel like there's been a shift, and maybe I'm making things up, I don't know, but I just feel like whenever I talk to people, especially younger people, and maybe this is because I'm their age. I am your age, as opposed to what Amber said a couple weeks ago. I just feel like there's like the people, like there's just like, I just want to be myself. Like I don't want to have to be like putting on this like show of like I am. Like obviously there's gonna be days where you're like in a crummy mood or whatever, and you gotta like whip it together and make it, you know. But like I think that generally people are like, I'd rather just be myself than show up to a place and be like,
this is how it was.
Yeah, it's like be a robot, you know, be
Yeah.
like, I know, I just think that that's what's going to get you a lot further
Yeah.
anyways, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Get into houses, try to have conversations, be genuine, make small jokes or so, but then be effective and have the experience to talk about the problem of, is this the issue? Like, what do you think? And then you talk about some of the solutions, some of the problems you foresee, and the experience, because that helps then trust. Where they're like, oh wow, like they do understand the problem, or they do know what we're talking about. So.
Is there like a certain part in the like sales process where like if you've like gotten to this point, you're like, oh, I'm gonna, this job's mine. Like I'm not gonna lose this job.
Yeah, I mean, I never assume that I'm gonna get every job. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to get between like 30 and 40% approvals. Or.
But you like by now you probably know the tells. Like when they start, I can imagine like they're talking about, oh yeah, when you'll do this and you'll do that. Like you're like,
yeah,
okay,
you
like,
will get that. But then there's also that's how you talk. Like you always talk in that perspective of like, when I quote stuff, I'm like, so like we're gonna do this, or like when we come, we'll do this. It doesn't mean I'm gonna get the job, but that's how I represent us.
Even when the
there.
client's talking like that, like even with the prospects,
yeah,
like, hey,
a lot of it's budget and like they want their second opinion, which all by all means, like I did 3 quotes or 3 job projects to look at bathrooms last week. And every single one, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just talking to someone else. I'm like, you know what? Absolutely. I don't get offended. I was like, I would do that too. Like, out of due diligence, you should either vet me or get someone else's opinion or whatever. But like, this is what my opinion, like this is my opinion and this is my best kind of practice on this.
I don't really know. What does it mean, like get a second opinion, just like get another contractor to come in?
Yeah, like I do say that to everyone because if I don't see it a certain way or if another contractor kind of spots another issue, then you have 2 people looking at it. You have 2 quotes. They can be competitive and comparable. And yeah, if you trust someone over the other person, like obviously I wish I get everything, but I know in the back of my head you're not supposed to. And yeah, that's
so interesting because I feel like even when I do sales, like there's a point like I'll do a sales call with someone where I'll be like, this guy ain't gonna sign. Like this guy, there's no chance this guy's gonna move forward. And then the opposite, where there'll be times I'm like, oh, this guy. Like when I met with this guy, David, I was just like, oh, this guy's like putty in my hands. I can't get him to sign anything. Yeah. No, but seriously though, like I do think there's like a process, like at least a point where you're like, oh, like for sure, like this guy is gonna like. I think like. So like, I don't know, maybe it's different because I feel like maybe like for you, how often do you get brought to a project that's like an emergency? They're like, we need this, like it's a cutthroat situation.
Oh yeah, sorry, emergencies and stuff where it's like, I need you to fix this right away. You do it, like no questions asked, you're the person. Yeah. But when you're talking about a planned renovation, bathroom, kitchen addition, you get definitely second opinions, you get competitive too. And I go back and say like, hey, I'll walk the project again. Like I don't care, like whatever. But it's feast or famine. Like you got to be competitive in this market, and you gotta push. And
do you think it's pretty competitive in Fergus, like Center Wellington, for general contractors?
I think there's a competitive aspect. Yeah, like if you're looking for the right contractors and stuff, I think there's always gonna be guys that can start tomorrow. The guys that I was starting out at one point where I had work the next week. So like you do get that, and you have guys that will try it for a year and try it for 5 years. Like they say, business ownership, the first 5 years suck. The first 5 years are the hardest, and it's true. Like I'm a family. I'm one kid of 6, and my brother is a entrepreneur in a manufacturing area, and my brother-in-law and my twin sister are in landscape. So
that's crazy. There's
like 4 of us, and the other siblings have their other small hobbies and or other projects of
they have their things.
Yeah, like we all have our things. So we chat about it and we're open about it and different kind of aspects of the industry. So it's basically everything I feed into. It's all I talk about is business.
I gotta imagine like family gatherings for you guys are just all you talking about your own businesses.
All I talk about is business. My wife probably is in La La Land sometimes when I come home and rant and talk about the day or like what I'm gonna do next. But it's always goals and aspirations and stuff. And
when I get home and like, cause so the difference between I guess you guys and us is like Lauren is like she's the other bird. Like we're the 2 birds, right? She's like we're joint owners. Like we both own the business. And so like I'll come home and I'm like, Lauren, we're gonna do this and this and this and this and this and this. And I think that this is gonna be really good because of this. And I think that this is and like. Lauren is like the most laid-back business owner. She's like,
that's awesome.
But I think that she's like Jefferson's doing it. Like Jefferson's
Jefferson could do it.
Like she actually does the work. Like she's the one doing the efforts on the websites, and I'm the one that's like, what if we started a podcast? Like so. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's like value in that. Do you like? I wanted to ask you though before we leave the whole like sales process conversation. What are like the big red flags? What's a red flag if you're getting a contractor in your home and you're like what should make the homeowner say?
I mean, there should be some sort of common sense to it. If he comes into your house and he's wearing his boots and he just keeps his boots on, like that's a pet peeve. Even salespeople, like we had a salesman at our office and we have all our boots off. I have my friggin' slippers on because I don't want to get snow and salt everywhere, and he just wears his shoes in and you can hear the salt crackling on the floor. You're like, my goodness. So yeah, I would say common sense of like not being able to like read the room, or like, hey, you got a carpet or a nice entryway, like take your shoes off.
Take my shoes off. Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you just had like an outside smoke and you come in and you blow it as you're coming in and you just reek like smoke and alcohol. I mean, that person doing it obviously doesn't know that how bad he smells or whatever. There's a whole bunch of cues, and like I'm sure homeowners would. I've always just done my own work, so I don't have like I've had service and homeowners, like we had a
But you
giant
never hear like
repair.
the nightmares from them. They're not like, oh, we had a guy who came in and quoted us this and that.
I mean, the biggest thing is just one of the biggest things is not getting back to them. They'll spend the time, they'll go to the job, and then they'll just ghost them. No response, no explanation. I'll get through the quote next week.
I've had that.
Yeah.
Before we started Two Birds, we had a guy come in just to look at our basement.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, we're thinking about finishing the bathroom. And he came. Like, he took time out of his day. He showed up. He like came to the basement. Said he's like, oh, I'm gonna take some measurements. Like, come back. Like, you don't have to stick around for this. I was like, okay. So I left. He's down there for like half an hour. Comes up. He's like, all right, I'm all set. Well, you'll hear from me like in a week. I'd never heard of that guy again.
Yeah.
I'd never heard back from that.
And my thought is like, why would you spend the time going to the person's house if you're not even gonna follow through?
That's how I feel too.
Like mine is like, if I go to a house, I'm gonna send a quote, even if I don't like, even if I'm not sure if I'm confident on it, or I'm not gonna get it, or I'm just like, you know what? Like, let's do more of a budget. Here's a budget. I'm not sure exactly the scope you want because you seemed really unsure.
Yeah.
Here's the budget. Then at least there's a number. There's a number you can like go off of, and then you can be like, oh, that's what I quoted. That's what I didn't quote.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Now thinking of it, I don't even think I locked my truck when I got here this morning. Let's do it on the app.
Here, you do that. I'm gonna refill my coffee.
This is my first time drinking a black coffee.
Oh my gosh.
The app doesn't work today.
You always think like technology is like this perfect fix, and then you like try and use it, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work
Like, oh.
when you need it.
My dad just bought a Tesla, and he's like in love with this thing, and he's
like a model, like a car or the SUV one?
The car, like a car.
Nice.
Yeah, he loves it, and he's like, Jefferson, check this out. And he like holds the app open for me. He's like, I can get your seat warmed right now. And like we're at the restaurant. I'm like, great.
That's awesome.
Like, I know he's pumped about it.
Tesla's awesome. Like it's such a cool way of like even Elon Musk's story of the growth and the failing and the trying.
He's a bit of a controversial character. Yeah. Like there's definitely
loved by others, hated by others.
There's definitely parts about what he's done that I've admired. Yeah. Like I think that him being an entrepreneur, I see myself as an entrepreneur. Yeah. I think there's like a lot to learn from him. Politically, I probably differ from him.
Yeah, but if you deduct the 10 years of kind of being in the political field and owning Twitter,
it's funny.
I think you'd get more natural of like the hard work and like the stories of him of like sleeping on the factory floor. I was like, that's true. That is entrepreneurial. Like that's entrepreneurship.
Well, that's like, I think we all like. So I remember like when I switched from working for someone else to doing my own thing, like I had the mentality when I worked for someone else, like you go into the job. You chug away, you do the work, and you're like almost taught to think about work like hours. Like, who cares about how much I got done? I worked for 8 hours. Yeah. You could have done nothing. I could have even actually made the situation worse. but I showed up and I did stuff for 8 hours and I left, so I expect to be paid. Yeah. And like there's that almost like I found like that transition where like when you do become the owner, the entrepreneur, you sort of like I don't know about you, but I don't even think in hours anymore. I think in like how much have I gotten done today. It's like there'll be days where like I've worked the whole day, right? Like I've worked from the moment like the sun rose to the moment the sun set, which in Canada is a very short period of time. And I'm like, and I'll feel like I'll be upset with myself. I'm like I didn't get a lot done. Or Lauren's like, you're crazy. Like you woke up and you didn't stop working to the moment. And I'm like, I guess. And then there'll be days where like I'll feel like I'll have the most productive morning like ever. You know what I mean? Like I'm just nail that morning.
I'm killing it.
Like I'm on top of the world. You know what I mean? It's like it's half the time I feel like I got 5 times as much work done. So like, but I feel like I don't know. It kind of retrains your brain. But like people don't think about like how many extra hours you do end up putting into things when you become like all the sleeping on the floor of the factory or the the late night emails. Like, were you working to the late night emails when you were working for someone else? Like,
no, you have that turn off mentality. If I get paid from 7:30 to 5, you turn it off. I mean, there is some, when you genuinely care, you look at emails and you plan your day for the next day, just so it's not an absolute shit show. But yes. When you're genuine and you have the care for, you even want the company you work for to succeed, so you're gonna try. But if it's such a big company and there's no kind of culture on that, then you have your 8 to 5 and you leave. And I mean,
how much? So now that you have staff, because you've entered into this world where you now have like all these people who look to you. How much of your job is now focused on? Because before, when it's just you can just plow. You can put your head down. You don't care about company culture because the company is you. Like you're the culture. Yeah. But now, like, there's conversations that happen that you're not a part of, right? Now there's like team dynamic,
dialogue and team. And
so how much of like you like being this business owner, and how much of your efforts have transitioned from like just putting your head down and slogging away to like now you got to care about like team satisfaction or staff culture or like production for other staff? Like, how much of your time is now spent on that?
So now that we have the shop, we spend probably half an hour a day in the morning just going over like a morning meeting. Okay. 15 minutes of it is just either waiting for people to show up, which they're only a couple minutes late.
Who's always late?
Kamal and Seabread. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, I didn't want to run a company that's like, you're here at 8, you're not here at 8, you're fired, right? Like, I want a company that has good culture, and if you're a few minutes late, you're a few minutes late. I was like 2 years late at my old job, but I showed up at like 7:32. Yeah, everyone would get going and stuff, but like I was effective when I showed up. Like I didn't have a smoke break. I didn't take 45 minutes to get ready. Like I was late, but then I was effective. Yeah. Did they talk to me about it? Yeah, a couple of times, but I freaking hauled. And every day, like I would skip my lunch, or like I would work through my lunch, and I would work right till 6 o'clock. So my argument was like, yeah, okay, I'm 2 minutes late, but
you got so much more work out of me the effectiveness.
So I wanted to build more of a culture. Not saying being late is great. Like you got to be on time for certain things, like a podcast meeting, which I'm not a morning person, so I'm like trying to set the alarm, like, okay, please don't sleep in, please don't sleep in.
My biggest fear of doing this was like, what if David doesn't show up? Yeah. Like, what if I just like, I've got the space and I'm all here. I'm like,
I think there's more pressure when someone else is relying on you, but when it's your own thing and you're like, I'll go to the shop early today, or I'll go to the gym.
It's just you.
I'm terrible.
I know. You let yourself go.
I've been telling myself I'm going to go to the gym for the last 6 months.
Good for you. Lauren's the one telling me to go to the gym.
That's not good for me. I should be telling myself the next week going, or the next day.
I know. I've been telling myself, Lauren, every time she brings it up, she's like, oh, maybe you should go to the gym. And I was like, Lauren, my business plan: work incredibly hard and be stressed out for 3 years. Let my body go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just don't care.
I know. I did that. Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, then the business will be giant and successful, and I'll be able to then focus on my body. And she's like, it's a terrible lifestyle. Like, you're going to kill yourself.
That's funny. I told Samantha the same thing, because you know what? We'll get a little bit further. I'll work. I'll ruin my body a little bit more. I won't get healthy, but at least the business will be a bit more stable.
But
the thing is, the business is still going to be not unstable. It's going to be just a different level of fear, right? So instead of your fear now, it's going to be
it'll be a new
so
fear.
What I'm turning now is like, okay, you got to look after yourself.
That's so smart. That is smart.
Yeah.
Because you're 100% right that like, it's a lie to tell yourself, oh, once we get here, I won't be anxious. I won't be like, for me, like the fear is a big part of it. And so like, I'm always like, and it's like the same way, like that's the drive. Like the days where I wake up and I'm like, what happens if like X client leaves or this client's upset or whatever, like, then I'm like, well then we'll be down X amount of dollars. And it's like, okay, like I need to go do sales. You know what I mean? So like I get in the car and I'm just like going business to business. But I almost feel like I've left, I don't know, I feel like Fergus is such a small area. Like I feel like every business I've knocked on the door and been like, hello.
Hey.
But like it's true. Like I think it's a lie. Like, because I remember like the first one was like, okay, once we have, like it was like a dollar number. It's like once we have like X number of dollars coming in, I won't be anxious anymore. And then we got there, and then I was like, well, what if we lose that? Anyway. And then
absolutely.
But then it was like, okay, well, once we get this much dollars, then we could afford to, then we're sort of in a threshold where we could afford to lose. But then we got there, and then you're like, well, now I'm overworked.
And now I'm paying employees, and paying people to help.
You brought on people. And then it used to be like, well, once I have a staff on, then I'll feel good, because then...
I'll tell them what to do.
No, actually, so sorry to my team, but I was like, well, oh well, if a bunch of clients ever, because that's like my big fear, a bunch of clients leave. I'm like, okay, what if a bunch of clients left? I'm like, I'll just fire the 2 staff and then I'll just do the work. So it's like my pay never changes. But then I was like, but now that we're there, and I'm like no, I don't know. It's like it never, like the anxiety never goes away.
No.
And so like, and I almost feel like, I don't know, like it's almost like you're saying, like it's almost like a gift or a blessing, because you're like, the people who aren't afraid, I guess, get what's the word? They get like, they're satisfied with what they have. Like, I'm out of words today.
I'm out of words.
But they're just basically like they don't feel that drive to like get
like
to the
passionate. And
yeah, or no, like they're just like, oh shoot, I'm gonna be watching this later on
and be like, that's the word.
That was the word. What was I thinking? Anyways, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, most business owners I've talked to have said that like there is a level of fear, and I think that the reason that they're all growing at the rate that they are is because it's that fear that's driving them to get back in the car and like, because believe it or not, sometimes I don't want to wake up early in the morning and start working really early.
Nobody does. Nobody does. Nobody wants to
and work all day and then do work into the evening and stuff. But it's like, but we choose to do it because I'm trying to.
But then you also have to be a present father. You have to be a present husband. You have to be present at home and be able to help out. And again, like I just rely so much on Samantha for helping out on that aspect, because I'm just pushed, and our next even 3 to 4 more years is going to be constantly pushing. Yeah. But
you know what? It's interesting you say that, because I find like I feel like a lot of owners look to their partner with such like esteem, because they realize how much they're putting in to allow you to do all these things.
Yeah, I know. And that's hard. I got to go through more grateful exercises and realize that, you know, we're doing okay. We're gonna be okay tomorrow. And could we survive 6 months? Probably not, but that's what the fear is. We got to keep pushing, and I gotta trust that this is a great process. This is a great business to be in, and I can't jump on to the next, because that's another thing. After the fear, after you're a few years in, year 2, you're like, okay, well, this business is okay. I haven't really made money on it, so I'm going to jump to this business now. So then you just repeat the first year or 2 every 6 months.
That's exhausting.
You never actually get through that hard.
Do you want to start a new business?
What's that?
Do you want to start a new business?
No, I'm super content with what I am now. There's a big avenue of what services we can provide, right? Because we can do the smaller services all the way to the bigger services.
Do you fear, like now that do you feel like is your company currently in a stage where like in 5 years from now, or like whatever it is, that like you won't be able to, like the services you offer or the experience you offer is like, or what you can even do is going to look totally different, and like
Absolutely.
And so what is it?
Yeah, like the services, like for the quality and what's Brehn's standards, for sure they'll maintain the same. But for the processes of being able to communicate better with the clients, being able to have the technicians or our employees be able to communicate, to take pictures, work through things, have maybe even someone in the office to back, like, hey, this is the direction you need to go. I think it'll just streamline the processes for sure, being a bit bigger.
Does that like freak you out, or are you like?
I know what's going to happen, so it's just being patient and knowing, okay, these are
the aggressive patience.
These are the different avenues. Okay, we got to keep working away at that. We got to, I mean, what I get stuck on is working in the business rather than on the business, right? So working on the business is creating systems so then you can then remove yourself and you have people then to fill in, right? So right now I'm in the trenches with the employees and as the big team, and you got to be the master that can put all the pieces where it needs to be to operate, right? So
which I think sometimes is a different skill set than just starting up. You know what I mean? Like think about the skill set of what you need to just start a business versus what you need to like now at this stage where you're sort of like planning and You know what's interesting? I feel like you must be doing something right because you're growing.
I guess so.
You're doing something pretty good. I remember the first time that I knew you were growing was when I was doing a sales call for another business, not you at all. And I like name dropped you. I was like, oh, you know, we're working with a couple businesses in the area. I was like, we're working with so-and-so, and Brehn Home Solutions. And the owner stopped and she said, oh, really? Like you work with Brehn? I see them everywhere.
How much more business did Brehn get you?
They never saw it. So maybe they look.
Yeah.
No. But no, like I think that like obviously something you've done along the way is working.
Yeah.
Why?
I've been 110% involved in Brehn, in building Brehn. It's all I do. From making yard signs for all my job completions to then posting on Instagram and yeah, word of mouth has been huge. I've been 110% in, like logoing our vehicles so people see them. Like my biggest response is like, oh yeah, I see you everywhere. I see you around town. Or like, hey, you were working at so-and-so's house. I love it. Like that's exactly what I wanted because it's the brand. I want to keep building the brand awareness. And then eventually we're into Guelph, we're into Kitchener. I got a message from the Guelph Chamber of Commerce saying like, hey, we see you around town. Like you want to join the chamber there. And I'm like, you know what, that's so freaking cool. Like that is the goal. Those are the goals, the little wins in business where you're like, okay, I think I'm doing something right, right?
Was there like the first time that happened or that you heard someone talk about you like, oh yeah, I hear that you remember or like?
Well, you were one of the first ones to say, because I've just been in my own little zone, like horse with blinders on.
Right.
This is the direction I need to run. This is the direction I'm going, right? So I didn't really pay attention. I don't pay attention to really any competitors. I mean, which a competitive market you got to push, but yeah, I'm just a horse with blinders on right now, and yeah, now I want to find ways to be a part of the community and grow. And
that's interesting. It does. I do feel like those like Center Wellington is really cool, kind of like a cool little spot because it's like realistically, it's not big. Right? Like I grew up in Pickering, which is like the GTA.
I thought you grew up in Hamilton.
Oh, I moved here from Hamilton. I moved here from Hamilton, but I grew up in Pickering.
Got it.
So Lauren and I moved 5 times in our first 10 years of marriage. I don't know, we just were never content anywhere. We just always moved. Content's the word I was trying to find, by the way. But no, so we grew up in Pickering, and like GTA is just like there's no, like when Whitby ends and Ajax begins, there's no like line. There's just like more houses, right? And the same like into Scarborough and Toronto, whatever. And Hamilton was big as well. So I remember when I came to Fergus, I was like, I'm in the middle of nowhere.
This is
a farm community.
Yeah.
What was I thinking moving here? but it's really cool. I think, so I really believe it's like kind of the perfect environment especially for people who are starting a business, because there's especially, I mean, you're residential, but like I think especially for commercial, because it's like Center Wellington is far enough away from these other like the Tri-City area or like Guelph or whatever to like make people feel like some sort of like connection to it, right? They're like, okay, like local, love Fergus, love Allura, like we're our own distinct thing. We love you know buying from people in the downtown strip, you know, stuff like that. But it's close enough to those places that a lot of businesses can service them. Yeah. So there's a lot of businesses that can exist here that couldn't be able to if Fergus was truly, or like Center Wellington was truly like really far away from everyone else. Yep. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of businesses can function here, which means that a lot of like B2B businesses can function here and sort of work with that crowd. But it also, I think it works for even residential guys like you because it isn't so huge, but you can service like all these other areas. You get to create a name for yourself where your trucks like are driving around all over the place, and it's like if you drive up 2 streets here, you basically pass 90% of the homes, and you can create a bit of a reputation for yourself. So I don't know. I think like there's like a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of excitement happening in this area. You said you had a sales guy come to your shop?
Yeah, just started.
What was he selling you?
It was something for us to work on. It wasn't a service or anything. It was something for us to be a bit more efficient in the shop. So it was a printer company.
Oh, it was a printer.
And we're just like, we're not there. We didn't need a commercial printer, but now we know, okay, this is how it works.
Were they local? Or were they big business?
They were Kitchener, I think. They had more of a subscription. It was kind of easier to use, but you're coming about like the local community. It's awesome. I moved here, so I was born in Toronto, and our family moved from Rexdale and Bradford.
Were you in Rexdale area?
Yeah, my parents were in Rexdale at first, and that's where my dad grew up, and then they moved to kind of the Bradford area.
My mom grew up in Rexdale.
Throughout there. And when I was 1 or 2, my parents they bought a farm, and then they built a house. The years of that are foggy. But about 1998, they finished the house and we moved in, and that's kind of where we were based. So I've gone to school all here, like my whole family around here. We're all around here. My sister's in Brussels, my brother's in the edge of Guelph. So like my other brother's in Arthur. So we're all just here, and like my oldest brother did like the lacrosse, the Elora Rocks, or the start of lacrosse.
I don't know.
But yeah, so we started with this community. I think we started with like 8,000 or 9,000 people in this community. There was no Walmart. There was no.
Wow, you're right. So you would have really seen.
We started when there was Zellers here.
There was a Zellers.
There's Zellers where
the Walmart is?
No. There's Zellers was up by like Giant Tiger. So
Oh,
Zellers
really?
was there. The Canadian Tire was the original.
I heard that the Iron Bucket used to be a Canadian Tire. Someone told me.
Which
that.
is the store downtown here?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That used to be
Really?
one of the original. That was an original
That's
Canadian
crazy.
Tire. Yeah, so we came here, and I mean the Canadian Tire was newer, Zayres was newer, but then there's no Walmart. That was a farmer's field, and there's no houses out past Blinkhorns. Blinkhorns or Ultramar was like the local. That was the line for Fergus, and my parents just lived just outside of that. So yeah, we started here when there was really nothing. So growing up, we saw this infrastructure, we saw the buildings getting done, and it was like 2011, 2012 when Walmart got built. I was one of the first ones to go in the store when it opened. Because my father owns a manufacturing plant, he built the jewelry displays, so we ended up getting one of the first accesses to open the Walmart. So yeah, I remember one morning that I went there before school.
That's really crazy.
So yeah, our family's just been kind of
Seeing it all grow up.
the hub of Fergus and just seeing it grow. Yeah.
It felt for me one of the most. So I felt like I saw for the first time how connected you are with the community. It was when we brought Amber on, and then she was like, "Oh, David, his twin's like my best friend."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the?"
But Amber was actually one of the first jobs I quoted. I quoted a deck for her, though I didn't get it. But
What? Too high, too expensive.
Too expensive. No, it was one of my first jobs. I lined up being part time, or I quoted to do part time. But yeah, no, we're so intertwined, and we're all kind of in little groups of the community too. And
do you find like when you talk to business owners or like homeowners, they're like, they really want to work with someone local, or do they not care?
like local. Like owners?
No, like resident. Like when you go into a home to like quote a project or whatever.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like the home show, for example, is huge because they ask you, like, are you local? Like everyone, when they ask, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a general contractor.
They'll ask you if you're local.
They'll be like, are you local? Are you from here? And I'm like, oh, I live in Mount Forest at the time. Or like, yeah, I'm based out of Fergus. They're like, oh, great. We don't want to work with anyone like GTA-wise.
Do you think that's just the home show crowd, or do you think that's everyone?
I think there's probably a bit of everyone. I think it's the comfort of knowing that someone's local, someone's driving their trucks around town, or whatnot, because I think that the GTA vibes get a bit of a gray area where it's like, okay, are they going to show up? Do they want to make the commute? Or are they just the deposits, everything. There's just so much that plays with someone's decision making.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard one of our other clients, he was saying to me like, I'm tired of seeing like all these guys from Kitchener be here when I could be the guy to do that. He's like, I'm from here. Like,
right. But instead of that mentality, it should be, how can I do that?
Lesson. Sorry, maybe I'm representing him wrong. I feel badly now. He's an amazing guy. I love this guy.
Love
him. But no, I think his point I think was like, oh, like I think there's even opportunity because I think that even like these guys from Kitchener or Guelph or whatever, like see that Fergus is growing and want like a foothold here and are trying to push here. And he's like, he's like, there's so many great guys from,
right.
I don't want to talk on this guy's behalf anymore.
Okay.
I'm done talking.
Cut that off.
Yeah,
no, because
and
I think that's as well as being vigilant. Like I see local competition, local guys around here that are started up or has been in it for a couple of years, or I'm the newer one. I'm just like, man, I wanted that job, or I quoted that job, or right? Yeah, I got a call. I lost an audition to a local builder, and they're like, yeah, the clients are like, you're not well known enough in Laura. I'm like, well, how can I be if I don't get the chance to
be there?
And so in my head, I'm just like, okay, well, that's the push.
Yeah.
I guess I use push a lot.
You do use push a lot.
But
did you say you want to hang a banner? What was that banner you want to hang in your?
Do better.
Do better.
But it's interpreted however anyone wants to be. But do better is more self-reflect.
Because whenever we meet when I meet any of your team, they're always like, David's always talking about do better. And he's like,
hopefully I don't insult
you're
anyone.
not coming across like passive aggressive, like you guys can do better.
It's not passive aggressive though.
No.
If you Google the term do better, there's no passive aggressive that comes here. That's the
I
interpretation.
guess it's very directly aggressive.
Yeah.
It's not passive aggressive.
No.
Not aggressive, sorry.
Do better.
It's a
is
direct statement. It's not a passive statement. Is what I'm trying
it's
to say.
a direct statement. That's because there's nothing about it that's passive aggressive or it's self-reflecting. If you think if you take do better as like, oh my goodness, they're hurting me. That's a terrible word. I don't like it. Then that's on you. But if you take it like, man, I could do better. I could be a better father. I could be a better partner. I could be,
or even
right?
like your projects, like your work,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, which is probably why you want to. Yeah.
So it's self-reflecting. It's being accountable and so forth. So I'm gonna offend people, but I think I'm gonna stand by it.
It's a pretty powerful statement, I guess, to say like do better, because it's sort of like to stick to it says like we're never gonna get to the best. Like the best is never going to be achievable. Perfection's never achievable.
You're never going to be happy. But that's being said, where can you take the small wins and be content and happy with them at that time? Because you can celebrate your wins for years and years and years and be that guy like, oh yeah, I did that one project 5 years ago now. It's like, what are you doing now?
I'm doing a podcast. I'm trying
to do better than we did a podcast.
I'm trying, David.
So
I will say, like, one of the coolest things has been. I think I don't know if maybe you feel this way, but like when I work with other entrepreneurs, I do feel like there's a little bit of that, like not a little bit, like I think there's a lot of like I'm always inspired when I leave those meetings. So I come home and I'm like, these are guys who, I mean, it's true, like you guys are also putting it on the line. You're like, well, I'm not expecting a paycheck from an employer. I'm expecting it from my clients. Like and I think like you have this drive to say like, I'm going to be the one to go and get it and do better. Like you're like living by this own rule that you set for yourself. And I sort of like think about you and these other guys, and I'm like, that like it's almost inspiring every time I come home. I'm like, and then Lauren has to hear it from me. Lauren, we have to do this. We have to do this. We have to do this. She's like, why? Why are we doing those things? Yeah. Looking into the future, what's like the biggest? I guess I should check the time real quick. I don't want to make sure oh man, we're like 5 minutes out. Okay. So.
Have you touched on all your topics?
That's a good question. I want to talk about your story that you shared at the beginning. We want to talk about Center Wellington. I feel like we talked a ton about Center Wellington.
Yeah. And this is me several parts I can add in if we miss stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. This guy's never coming back.
No. This guy's never coming. I mean, the whole point of this wasn't necessarily to be like, I must like hit every topic. Like I was like, oh, like if there's an interesting conversation that comes up, I want to follow that. They want us to be like, no, like these are the topics, ignore that. I think we've talked about most of the things.
Yeah, I think the one thing we didn't talk about was hurdles. Hurdles in the community.
What are the biggest hurdles?
What are the biggest hurdles?
Yeah.
You have those companies that have been around for 20, 40,
right, they have
50 years. They have the name and power. Yeah. So it's getting brand awareness and getting out there, and trusting new processes of advertising. Right. Some of the stuff's been around there for years, but I don't know SEO. I don't know any of that. Like there's Google AdWords, and that what I thought is you paid money for and you got results right away. But Google AdWords doesn't even do it really anymore. So you got to be organic.
Some of the most, like, it's funny because like even some of the businesses who I've like pitched to, listen, like I've cold called every single person here. Like if there's a business in here in Center Wellington, I've probably talked to the owner at one point. But a lot of these guys, like even who are beginning, the big thing I always try to say to them is like, I guarantee your competitor has already invested years worth into like SEO.
Yeah.
Have already invested years worth into their AdWords and their social like strategies. Like they're already 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
And so like it is always like a big sell to say to someone like, hey, listen, you invest now. It's like it's going to take time, but you're going to begin to see results, and you're going to see like that your piece of the online pie is going to get bigger.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be right away, and you're going to have to trust the process. And it's always like to them, I feel like some of these guys, they hear that and they go, well, like, why am I, if I don't get results now, like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, I guess, like, you can think that way.
Well, that was my fear. I was like, you're like, you got to trust the process. It's 6 months. I think it was like 3 months in. I'm like, I haven't got anything yet. Like, should I leave Jefferson? Should I keep going? I'm like, okay, we'll give it another month. 4 months in. I'm like, but he said 6 months. Okay, let's give it up to 6 months. 6 months in. Okay, I got 2 submissions organically. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Okay, well, let's trust the process. And then, you have to
It's SEO is always, it's a funny world to operate within, because it's like, I always have found that sales is like, there's very few times that I think someone is like undecided about what they're going to do about the house. Wake up and say, I want a new kitchen. They've never thought about it before. They want a new kitchen. They go online. First person to show up, go with them, call them, book them, sign with them that day, right? A sales process, the customer journey, right? That's what we're taught, is like a longer process that has that begins with awareness, begins with discovering what their options are, self-education, figuring out what it is that they even really want, what are the services that are being provided, who could they work with, and along the way discovering things. Okay, they've seen X number of vehicles around here, so they've seen that. They've gone online, they've been to a few different people's websites, they've even checked out some people's social media, right? And it's so it's always like, you say to a client, they're like, oh, well, how many people have found me because of social media? I'm like, I can show you that hundreds of people have found you because, I know you asked that. But it's like, I can show you that hundreds of people have gone to your website, and that was part of their decision-making process, right? So it may not have been, but no one thing is the deciding factor, I don't think.
And that's the scary truth about
it is
SEO and building a brand, is you don't know exactly. Yeah, you can put, okay, X amount of percentage comes from this, but you just got to trust the aspect of, okay, we are getting out there, our brand's well known, or word of mouth is getting shared more. And
especially, I think for you, it's you're not selling plushie dolls.
No.
It's not like someone could drop it, the $50 or $20 or whatever it is to buy one right away. You're doing a service that people think about for a long time, right? They're thinking okay, we're gonna do this probably in the next couple of years, you know what I mean? And so it's that, I always say, that's an opportunity. You look at that and you should be and you do this, but it's you're sort of I have this whole window of time where people are going to be 2 to 3 years, they're thinking about the projects they want to do in their home. How do I insert myself into that process as many times as possible, right?
Yeah.
Right? So it's they've seen your trucks, they've seen the signs, but they've also gone online, they've seen your ads pop up, they've seen your posts on socials, they've seen that, they've become aware of you, they're familiar with you. So by the time they're actually at the deciding point, which is this pivotal day, they're I will go with that David guy, even if they haven't in their mind been oh yeah, I came here because I chose you because of social, I chose you because of Google, or I chose you because of the sign.
Subconscious.
It's the whole journey we've taken to get there.
And this spring-ish, the New Year has been the biggest flag of oh my goodness, it's actually there's so much more organic growth. Because we've been a year and a half, almost 2 years, and now it's 4 or 5 submissions in a week, and you're holy crap. And so now it's this is not even the beginning of the season for us. Really, it's when people start thinking about it, it's March, April, then you book your whole summer. So yeah, it's inspiring.
I remember when I saw those leads popping in when the spring was popping around, and I was Lauren was make sure David knows, that these forms are coming, and I was I don't know. But no, it's a big, marketing's messy. Marketing is, it's like a small business. You just gotta get in there and you try and you just throw yourself in every direction that you can, and you just keep on plugging
and take an
away.
adjustment if you're hey, I didn't like how I did
and
that.
Course correction,
right?
Exactly.
Or hey, I talked too much in that conversation, or I messaged them too many times. I'm not going to get it, but maybe next time I'll be more aware about it. Right?
Keep on responding to him at 8 o'clock at night. He hates that. I guess I'm doing that.
I will keep emailing at 8 to 11 o'clock at night.
So. Do you, okay, so I guess why don't we wrap up on this? So as you're, what does Brehn, and so you can look on this in 5 years from now or 3 years from now, what does Brehn Home Solutions look like in 2030?
Brehn, hopefully Fergus will be the hub where that's where all our marketing's from, that's where everything is, all our vehicles are, and then hopefully we're starting to service Kitchener, Guelph, we're getting down to the London areas, we're getting out to even Palmerston, Drayton, there's really no one that services, you have your general contractors and stuff, but for the service side of things. So we want to basically have a small fleet that can service the one-day jobs, the door adjustments and stuff like that, but then also start servicing the bigger bathrooms and kitchens. So having a small fleet, having maybe 20 to 30 employees, maybe even having to start building a building in Fergus in the next 5 years. would be my goal. It's definitely obtainable. So am I going to go further than that? Yeah, I have other goals. Am I going to announce them? Probably not.
Probably not right now. That's exciting.
So yeah.
Well, I'm sure you'll get there. I forgot to do this at the beginning. I've forgotten to do this every time. Could you say, for the sake of the camera,
I was thinking
who
this
you
the whole
are?
time. Like, wait, before he cuts it off. Hello, I'm David Kooiman with Brehn Home Solutions, general contracting and construction.